How's the old man gonna like this?
I don't know if I'll worry about that when the time comes. I've never had too much trouble with elderly gentlemen.
Ben, you remember the night we made up our own epitaphs? And mine went, here lies Willa. Many a headache, never a dull moment. Please don't feel so bad about it, Ben. You didn't mean it. It was an accident.
An accident?
Joe Ludwig's going to be on his way over here quick, and you can say Bernstein, Glisson, Ludwig, and Elberson.
No, thank you. I don't want you, lawyer. I don't want anything from you.
And I'm not just about to accept that, Ben. Not ever.
The long, hot summer seems to know every time you're near, and the touch of a breeze gently stirs all the trees, and a bird wants to please my ear. The long, hot summer, oh, so slowly moves along.
The Long Hot Summer, brought to you by
Don't look good, Jody. All that water in his lungs ain't doing him a bit of good. The doctor says the propeller cut him up.
I know about the propellers. I pulled them out, remember?
All right, Jody boy, what happened up there? Now look, Jody, it's gonna have to be done. The sooner the better.
Well, Bill Roy and I went up to Lake Mirabah. I was going to teach him how to water ski. I guess you know all that. Billy Roy came down to stay with me this summer. His father and mine are old friends. I guess he wasn't too hot on the idea of water skiing. I suppose I could have talked him out of it, but instead well, Billy Roy was pretty fumble-footed about it at first. But then he started to catch on a little, and then he fell. I guess I was thinking about something else. I didn't notice at first. Then I looked back, and he was in the water, and there was Quick's boat bearing down on him. He was coming fast, full throttle. He hit him and just drove off. I started to turn my boat, and I killed the motor. I was pretty shook up. But by the time I got it started again, I looked over, and Ben Quick was driving away.
And you're sure it was Ben Quick at the wheel?
I just told you.
Well, what about the woman?
Well, next time I looked, afterwards, I couldn't even see her. Just him, driving back to the South Landing.
How's he doing, Howard? It's bad, Mr. Will. Real bad. They're getting ready to take him to the operating room now.
Jody?
Did you call Mr. Wyman?
Yeah, it was the toughest thing I ever had to do. He'll be here by morning.
Mr. Will, I'd be obliged if you bring Jody over to the courthouse later. County attorney want to talk to him.
County attorney?
I called him, too. Those Quicks have always had a way of sowing misery and heartache in their path. Well, He'll reap his own harvest this time. You can bet your bottom dollar on it.
Thank you, Mrs.
No, I thank you, Mr. Conover, for your kindness and your understanding. Jails just shadow me. And when this gentleman showed up at my door, all my youthful indiscretions just went flashing through my mind.
Miss Ben, quick.
Thank you. Could I speak with you for a minute, Sheriff?
Excuse me. Sheriff's office.
What's this all about?
Ben, no matter what they ask you in there, don't you say a word.
What do you mean?
Don't you say a thing. About what? There's a boy been hurt in the water. They say he's bad. Bad hurt.
Would you see anybody in the water?
Now, while I was driving, must have been after you pulled me away from the wheel.
All right, Ben. Inside.
Now, remember, hon, not a word.
We'll have a car out there very shortly.
We gonna book him, Hart? Not until we get positive identification. I don't want any slip-ups. I want this nailed up on the barn door nice and legal.
My name's Conover. They tell me I'm county attorney around here. This here's a tape recorder. I'm going to turn it on with your permission.
I got nothing to hide. This is all a mistake.
And that's why we're here, Mr. Quick. Clear up any misunderstanding. Here, sit down. Oh, I'm supposed to tell you you're entitled to a lawyer.
I don't want a lawyer. I want an answer. What's this all about?
I just want to get it straight in my mind what happened up at Lake Marabou this afternoon. You, went boating this afternoon, I understand.
Yeah.
Tannehill says you rented a boat from him.
That against the law?
You drive it up anywhere around here in the water skiing area?
Yes, I did, but I didn't run down any boy.
I don't recollect saying you did.
Well, then what's all this talk about booking me and lawyers?
I don't even recollect saying it was a boy who was run down. How come you knew it wasn't a man or a woman or a girl, for that matter? How come you knew it was a boy?
Willow mentioned it just now.
Oh, I see.
And besides that, I remember driving by a boy who was water skiing with Jody Varner.
Oh, then you did see it.
Not then, later.
Huh?
I mean, I didn't see him later. I saw him then.
Forgive me, Mr. Quick. Just what is it you do mean? You mean you saw the boy before the accident, but not after?
I didn't even know there was an accident until the deputy told me.
How come you to be driving that boat so crazy, boy? You have a couple of shots.
I didn't say I was driving.
You didn't? Well, that's funny. Seems to me that you did. I might be mistaken. I'm not too sharp at running these things. Should be right about here. You drive it up anywhere around here in the water skiing area?
Yes, I did, but I didn't run down any boy. I didn't say I was driving all the time.
Mrs. Stern was driving?
She didn't mention it.
Are you accusing Mrs. Stern?
I'm not accusing anyone. I wasn't driving that boat when that boy was
I
hit.
thought you didn't even know the boy was hit.
I didn't.
Then how could you know who was driving when it
All
happened?
I know is I wasn't driving.
Young Varner's here.
Come on.
Jody, sorry to bother you. Jody, can you give identification on the person who was driving the other boat when Billy Roy was hit?
It was him.
Witness indicates Mr. Ben Quick.
Are you sure, Jody?
I'm positive.
Book him.
You know you are one.
Well, just a minute.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Bam. Whatever we gonna do about that big babbling mouth of yours? I did not warn you to hush up.
What did you tell that county attorney?
Don't I even get a smile? Oh, if you knew how I hate jails. Guess it comes from visiting my daddy and I'm
What
so
did you
old.
tell him?
The plain, honest truth, Ben, that we went for a boat ride. Of course, maybe we did do a little skylarking up in the water ski area, but we didn't know anybody was hurt. We just turned the boat around, and we went back to the dock, and we didn't know a thing about it.
Did you tell him you was driving by the time?
Well, now, I would have, Ben.
Did you tell him about that little tantrum you threw?
Well, now, I truly would have, Ben, but...
But what?
Well, they told me Jody Bonner saw the whole thing. And you were driving when it happened.
How could I run over someone and not know it? I'd feel a bump or something.
Must have happened during our silly little quarrel. But please don't feel so bad about it, Ben. You didn't mean it. It was an accident.
An accident?
I know. It was my fault. And I sure don't intend to let you sit here and suffer for it. So, Joe Ludwig's gonna be on his way over here quicker than you can say Bernstein, Glisson, Ludwig, and Elperson.
Who's Joe Ludwig?
Only the finest lawyer in the whole state of Texas is all. He handled the recent unpleasantness with my ex. And Bright, he'd get you out of this, but you gotta do what he says.
And after that, I start doing what you say. No, thank you. I don't want your lawyer. I don't want anything from you.
Well, now, I'm not just about to accept that, Ben. Not ever.
Now, listen, Willa. Willa! Willa!
Well, you just might be on shaky ground, Counselor, applying the vehicular code to a boating mishap. Mr. Quick, now my thought is to save us all some time and money. If you... Mr. Quick, I'm Joe Ludwig. You're out on bail.
So I hear.
What I mean is, if you'll accept a lesser charge, a misdemeanor, speeding, say, or reckless driving, my client will plead guilty and we'll all be happy.
You don't speak for me, mister. I don't plead guilty to anything.
Mr. Quick, I took a long airplane ride to come help you. I don't like airplanes. So why don't you let me handle it?
There's nothing to handle, Mr. Ludwig. The charge is hit and run felony. Unless that boy died.
Let me have my stuff.
Mr. Quick, you must be quite a young man.
Nothing special.
I'm tempted to agree. But Mrs. Stern apparently sees something I don't.
Where's she?
Awaiting your pleasure. Young man, a word of advice. Keep your mouth shut and your nose clean, and don't bite the hand that feeds you. He's all yours. I'll see you at the hotel. Half an hour.
Isn't old Joe just the daddy bear of all time?
I don't want that lawyer, and I didn't ask you to put up bail for me.
Somebody had to. Can't very well take care of your farm from in there, now can you?
You don't care about my farm.
You're right, hon, I don't. I care about you. I couldn't sleep all last night for worrying.
I didn't sleep myself, Willa. I got a bump on my head from falling over the seat of that boat.
Oh, Will'll kiss it and make it well.
It was a hard bump, and I was hazy when I got up. I was thinking to myself last night, maybe I was knocked out for 10, 15 seconds.
Knocked out?
Knocked out. Was I?
Now, Ben, what are you getting at?
A lot could have happened in 10 or 15 seconds. Did it happen then, Willa?
You stop that, Ben. Jody Bonner saw you driving the boat when that boy was hurt, and that's a fact.
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
Ben? Now, where are you going?
I think me and young Mr. Varner better have a talk.
Ben? Now, Ben, wait a minute. Ben, now, why are you going to make waves? Joe said he can get you out of this if you just...
Yeah, but I'm pleading guilty. A little too anxious to sweep this under the carpet.
Ben, he knows what he's doing.
And who he's doing it to.
I'm just trying to help you.
Too late, as usual.
Maybe so, but I'm the only friend you got in this town. You just look around you. Just look around at all these fun, friendly faces. Without Joe Ludwig in your corner, they're gonna crucify you.
I'll worry about that when it happens. You get this straight. I don't want to see any more of you. I don't want to see any more of you or your hotshot Texas lawyer.
In Chicago. Mr. Clay Wyman.
Yes, would you mind having him paid? Just a minute. Operator, this is an urgent call. Just a minute. Well, there'll be somebody at this number. Thank you, I'd appreciate it.
Jody! Jody Varner!
Something you wanted, Mr. Quick?
Your brother.
Yes, I gathered that. What's your business with him?
Look, Miss Clara, I just got out of jail, and I'm dirty and hungry, and your brother's the one who put me there. Don't get cool and regal with me. I want to see him, and I want to see him now.
Well, he's not here. He's at the hospital with Papa. They've been there most of the night.
How is the boy?
I don't know. I was just trying to reach his Papa, but the plane's been held up.
Well, I'll have to go to the hospital.
Wait a minute. Have you had your coffee?
Something that resembled coffee.
Would you like some?
Could use some. Thank you.
What happened at the lake?
I don't know. I just don't know. What?
Well, I have a few reservations about you, Mr. Quick. But I don't think you're the kind of man who'd hurt someone and run away.
Well, just so you don't lose any beauty sleep. If I was driving that boat, and that boy got hit, I didn't know it.
Well, how can you hit someone and not know it?
That's what I'm wondering. I think I was knocked out when it happened.
Knocked out?
Well, Willa was driving. We had an argument, and she got pretty wild, and she opened up the throttle. Looked to me like she was going to pile us up on the shore. I was trying to get the wheel away from her. There was a lot of swerving and cutting in and out. I lost my balance. Lights out. I think.
But you're not sure.
Well, I fell over the back of that seat in the boat. Next thing I remember, the sky's going by, and I smell motor oil. And I think that's when I came to. I don't know. I just don't know. I must have been out. Well, anyway, I managed to get in the front seat and get the wheel away from her. She was glued to it. She was just staring straight ahead. She just collapsed over into the next seat. And then I drove back to Southland, and that's all I know.
You tell a convincing story.
So does Willa. And it's her word and your brother's against mine. Who's going to believe me? You?
I don't know. Jody tells me he saw you driving that boat.
Well, maybe that's what he thought he saw. Or maybe he did see me after I took the wheel away from Willa. That's giving him the best of it.
What does that mean?
It means he's been chasing pretty hard after Willa. Maybe he wants me out of the way.
Mr. Quick, are you finished with your coffee?
I'll say one thing for you Varners. You sure know how to close ranks.
Hi. How are you doing?
All right. Is my father here yet?
He's on his way, Billy Roy. His plane was held up.
You tell him. Tell him. Yeah? Tell him what? That I learned how to water ski. Tell him yourself, cousin. Make him feel good. Sure. You better start feeling better now. He always wanted a son more like you. Somebody he could be a pal to.
Nurse.
Get the doctor quickly.
Doctor. Jody. You go in there and look at your handiwork, boy. And while you're doing it, you forget about some little sentence like hit and run. You start thinking about the word manslaughter.
For felony manslaughter, the maximum is 10 years in the state penitentiary.
I got that boy's father to face down. I want to be able to tell him that the man who killed his son is not going to get off easy.
He'll get the maximum, Mr. Varner, I promise you that. I'll have Quick picked up on that new complaint as soon as Harv gets back from Lake Mirabu.
Good.
Oh, by the way, sir, if you happen to see Jody, would you remind him I'm expecting him down here this afternoon? Want to clear up a couple of points in his testimony.
Sure I will. You know, you got a future in this state, Tom. And it's looking brighter by the minute.
Thought he might be hungry.
I already fed him. Don't you ever give up?
I can afford to be stubborn, but you can't. You've got to let Joe Ludwig help you.
How many times do I have to tell you?
I don't know exactly what I've done except try to give you everything I own. And if that's wrong, then I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a story of your life. Get mad, you break up the ball game. Then you tell everybody you're sorry. And that's supposed to make everything better.
Some of those ball games were fun. Like the time we went to Amarillo. You remember? Ben, you remember the night we made up our own epitaphs? And mine went, Here lies Willow. Many a headache, never a dull moment. Remember?
I remember a lot of things.
Well, then why won't you let me help you? Ben, it'll be just like it was before. I promise.
That boy is dead.
You hear me? He's dead.
Well, I can't bring him back to life. Don't you think I would if I could?
Maybe Joe Ludwig can arrange it.
Ben, it was an accident. An accident. You think spending time in some stinking little jail is going to bring him back or help anybody? Ben, think about us. We got a right to go on living, too.
Not together.
I hope you rot in jail.
The long, hot summer will continue following station identification.
Come in.
Thatcher. I spoke to Mr. Wyman. He's on his way here from the airport.
Yes, I know. Andrew told me.
Have you got a minute? I'd like to talk to you.
Sure.
I saw Ben Quick this morning.
So did I. Just after Billy Roy died.
He told me his story of what happened up there. Sure was a lot different from yours.
Well, that pretty much figures, doesn't it?
He said that Willow was at the wheel.
Well, I saw him.
When? I mean, when? When the boat actually hit Billy Roy?
No, it was afterwards. When the boat was leaving. After Billy Roy was...
Well, now, when you look, how far away was the boat? About 100 yards? 200 yards?
Are you doing the investigating now, Clara? I've already told the sheriff everything.
Ben says that they were having an argument. She lost her temper. She started steering the boat toward shore. And in the struggle for the wheel, he fell. Now, he thinks he might have hit his head and been knocked out for a while. He thinks maybe that's when the accident happened.
And you believe that? He was just trying to weasel out of it to put the blame on Willa.
Well, now, you don't know that he did it for sure. When that boat was speeding away, did anybody turn? Did you see the driver's face?
What are you trying to do to me?
I'm just trying to get the truth.
The truth is that you got great big eyes for Mr. Ben Quick, and you just want to protect him.
Well, now, what about you? Aren't you trying to protect Willow? Look, a man's freedom is at stake here. His farm and years of his life. You better be sure, baby brother. Absolutely sure that what you saw was really there. Not just something you wanted to see.
Hello, Clay. Let's go in here. Offer you a drink, Clay?
I won't have anything, thank you.
There isn't much I can say to help. I feel as bad as I can feel about this.
It wasn't your fault, Will.
You left me in my charge.
I left him here and hoped. He was always off by himself someplace with a microscope, armload of books. I was hoping down here with Jody, he'd learn something about the...
He was trying to, Mr. Wyman.
Hello, Jody.
He was hoping to have some pictures taken. Him on the water skis? He thought maybe you'd be proud of him.
I was proud of him. I wanted more for him. Wanted for him to grow, but I was proud. I wish I'd told him.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wyman.
It's a hard world, son. Maybe I will have that drink. If it's any consolation, Jody saw the whole thing. So who did it? They've got the man who's responsible. He'll go away for a long time. I can promise you that. Jody, I thought you were to see the county attorney again this afternoon.
Yes, sir, but I don't think I can talk to him right now. Would you call him up and tell him I won't be there until later? I've got something to do.
Do about what?
About what happened up there.
Well, you know what happened up there. You told me. You told the sheriff. Are you telling me now that you're changing your mind?
I need time to think, Papa.
Jody! Come back here, boy! Jody! Hello, Nora. Let me speak to the county attorney.
Willa, I've got to talk to you.
Not now, Jody.
Please, Willa, it's important.
I said not now, Jody.
Well.
What are you doing here?
Waiting. Where have you been?
Driving. Driving real fast.
And recklessly?
Give me a drink.
Ben Quick must be quite a young man.
I hate him.
Go home.
And you can go back to Bernstein, Glissom, and Alperson. I don't need you anymore.
I've been over talking to the county attorney. A call came in from Mr. Will Varner. I managed to get the gist of the conversation.
You know, for a bright man, you sure have the knack of telling a dull story.
Oh, it picks up considerably. Young Jody Varner has suddenly become a doubtful witness for the prosecution.
Well, now, what's that supposed to mean?
It means you're in trouble. He's no longer absolutely sure that Ben Quick was driving that boat. Question. If he wasn't driving, who was?
Well, just who are you working for, anyway?
You know who I'm working for. I don't want them focusing their spotlight on you, Willow. Your past record won't stand the glare. I'm referring most particularly to reckless driving and hit and run. You never were much at facing the consequences of your actions, were you?
I told you. I had nothing to do about that.
Stop lying to me. I suspected you'd been piloting that boat when you first brought me down here. What matters now is that they don't know it. And that brings us to Mr. Jody Varner. I don't think he saw Ben Quick piloting that boat. I don't know why he said he did, but considering his youth, I suspect that you made a strong impression on him. I think he's been protecting you. That is, up until now. You're paying a lot for this advice. You'd better listen. If that boy changes his mind, well, I'd hate to see you spend 10 years of your young life in the pokey.
Jody? Jody? Come on, jump in.
I thought you...
Jody, honey, you're looking at a fellow human being in distress. If I don't talk to somebody,
just gonna bust.
I want to talk to you too, Willa. I got to.
Wait a minute. I got a better idea. You drive. Someplace nice.
Pretty. You're better than tranquilizers, Jody. Somebody ought to package you and make a fortune. It's the first time, I think, I've felt real peaceful since... well...
Billy Roy's dad got you down.
Oh, that poor boy. Isn't there something I could do? I mean, like for his family, maybe?
They don't need anything, Willie.
It's just like a nightmare, just like some terrible dream. I think back and I'm not, real sure what happened. It's all so mixed up in my mind.
I guess that's why I wanted to talk to you. I'm kind of mixed up, too.
But you saw it. I mean, you told the sheriff exactly what you saw, didn't you?
I don't know. Ben was over to see my sister. He said you were driving.
Jody, don't you know what you saw?
I'm not sure anymore. I think it must have been him. But to swear on it? Was he driving the boat when it happened? Or was it you?
Is that what you truly think about me? I mean, is that the kind of human being you think I am? That I could do something like... and then just drive away?
Willa, listen.
Please, Jody, I don't want you to see me like this.
Willa, don't cry. Please don't cry.
I'm sorry, I can't help it, and I can't stand sniffling women, but when you said what you did, and I realized that you felt that way, I mean, the bottom just dropped out of everything.
Willa, listen to me. It's just that they had me confused. I didn't mean it.
Jody, please, will you just let me be by myself for a while?
I'm not going to let you alone.
I've been alone for a long time, Jody. A little more isn't going to matter.
Willa, what you told me, I was just mixed up. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just had to be sure.
All right. All right, Jody. I'll tell you what happened up there in that lake.
You don't have to tell me.
No, listen to me. I want to. I want you to know. Now, I came here to find Ben quick. I mean, you know that. Well, up there in that lake, I told him something. It doesn't matter what. But that's when the accident happened. He's a jealous man, but this time, I mean, he just practically lost his mind. Jody, please, you're hurting me.
I wouldn't want to hurt you, Will. I wouldn't want to hurt anything to hurt you.
Oh, hold me, Jody. Oh, Jody. Jody, marry me. Please, marry me.
You're bound and determined to prove to me that you're a two-fisted, grown-up adult man, aren't you? Well, I'm prepared to admit it. As soon as you start acting like one.
Well, admit it or not, I'm still leaving.
Just like that, huh? No tears, no handshake? That Mrs. Stern must really be something.
Papa.
You think you can handle her?
Papa, I'm getting married. I'm not breaking a horse.
I got no doubt about your ability with horses. About women, that's something else.
What are you looking for? I love her and she loves me.
Love? You're 21 years old. All you know about love is what you read in college textbooks and a few pussyfoot college romances. It's an infatuation, that's all it is. Nothing but a blind infatuation.
I knew you'd say that.
She's got you so hog-tied you don't know what you're doing. That Mrs. Stern has packed more living into each year than you have in your whole life.
She's a fine woman, Papa, and I'm going to marry her. Now, there's nothing in this world you can do to stop me.
Jody! 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 Jody!
I'm not one for apologies, but... Well, you're not making it any easier. Look, Jody's gonna marry Willow.
Make a nice couple.
They're planning on leaving tonight.
Your daddy's a big man in town. Why doesn't he stop him?
He tried. Jody's making this a personal declaration of independence. He doesn't know what he's doing. She's got him wrapped around her little finger.
So?
Well, she doesn't love him. She can. She just wants to make sure he doesn't change his mind about that accident.
All right, what do you expect me to do about it?
Stop her. You could. I know you could.
Your brother's a main witness against me. The farther he is away from this town by Monday, the better for me.
But this thing could wreck his whole life.
Better him than me.
My mistake.
Ole! I said don't let him change his mind. I did not say marry him.
Willow Bonner. My, that name has a nice ring to it.
How's the old man gonna like this?
I don't know. I'll worry about that when the time comes. I've never had too much trouble with elderly gentlemen. Why don't you just kind of take off, Mr. Big Daddy Bell? I can handle things here just fine by myself.
I've never been one to desert a sinking ship, Willow.
Now, you listen to me. You get out of this room and get out of my life. Right now!
Very well, Mrs. Stern. You won't have to tell me again. Night.
Hey. Carl's out front. Is there anything I can do to help?
Well, now, Jody, honey, maybe you could just take this down and put it in the car for me.
Sure.
And, let's see, if you happen to be passing the bar, you just might have this filled.
Do you think we'll really be needing this?
Oh, Jody, darling, you never, ever start an important journey without an ample supply of dry martini. I mean, that's just house rule. Then I'll go. you away from the tomato patch, Farmer Brown.
We're gonna have a talk.
Well, you better talk fast, because I'm about to say goodbye to your fair city.
Jody Varner?
Uh-huh. Well, we gonna be back for your trial. Seeing that steel door slam shut on you is gonna be the high point of my honeymoon.
Let him go, Willa.
What did you say?
I said let him go.
Oh, well, now that's funny. You come to save the lamb from the slaughter.
You gotta see me in jail before you're happy. That's between us. Don't ruin his life.
Since when you care anything about him or anybody else in
He'll
the world?
say whatever you want him to say in court. You don't have to marry him.
Maybe I'd like to marry him. That ever cross your mind?
You got someone your own size.
Like who, Farmer Brown? You?
Look at yourself. Look at Jody Varner's blushing bride. You wreck everything you touch. Everything. And then you walk away. You walked out on your daddy and you left him die alone in a drunk tank. You walked out on me when your friend came along and dangled some oil wells in front of your eyes. And then you dumped him when you bled him dry. And you did run down a boy and you left him to die in the water.
Oh, Ben, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Oh, dear God, I didn't mean that, Ben. Ben, listen to me. I was lying to you. When I said it was all over between us, I was lying, Ben. Ben, I got my car downstairs. We could be in Mexico City tomorrow. Why should you stand trial for something you didn't do? Ben! Ben! You pay some attention to me! Don't just stand there like a fool. Pour some drinks. Well, I'll say one thing, but Joe Ludwig, he sure knows a sinking ship when he sees one. All the little rats are just making for the beach, just swimming and swimming and swimming. Help me!
It's all right, Willie. It's all right, baby.
Oh, poor Daddy Ben. You never will get shut of me. Here lies Will.
What are you saying, baby?
I said, here lies Will. Many a headache, but never a dull moment.
Sounds like plugs.
Put new ones in. Into the courthouse?
Yeah, just came from there. They sent her to the state women's prison, Bayview. Psychiatric facilities. You know what she did afterwards? She gave the judge a rose.
She's got style.
Yeah. Did you check the points?
Yeah.
Let's look at the carburetor. Got any pliers?
And now, scenes from the next episode of The Long Hot Summer.
Why the hard sell, Mr. Quick?
It's always a holdout that gets my interest.
And if he should happen to stop a bullet, well, you can't make an omelet without breaking eggs.
Woman,
You got a cold streak in you. Do you know what you're saying?
Same thing you're saying. I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, but you make it sound
Like what it is?
The Long Hot Summer has been brought to you by